Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Frieren, episode 14. And my Christmas lights are weird. Every time I start the recording, I turn them on, and they shine for a little bit, then they grow dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until they turn off. So I flip off the switch. I think the batteries are dead. And then the next day I turn them on at the beginning of the recording and they glow again. Maybe it's not a matter of... Oh no, they are getting dim. Never mind that. Never mind this side rant about Christmas lights in the first place. Let's talk about Frieren, right? Frieren. In a previous episode, we met a new companion, at least for a while, if not permanently. I am still yet unsure whether he's gonna join us permanently, or is he going to be just a temporary member of our party. We will see all about that. The party currently has 3 people, one fewer than Frieren's original party, so I guess it would make sense to get another member. The party doesn't have a priest either, right? So I guess it would make sense to get a priest. And that priest is Sign, I think that's how we pronounce it. And he wanted to be an adventurer, but he didn't go with his friend. His friend wanted him to go adventuring. He said, no, I need to stay here because my brother stayed here for my sake, so I have to stay here for the sake of my brother. It's a chain, endless, well, not endless and not a cycle, but you know what I mean, of sakes, of doing something for someone's sake. Thankfully, Stein got a little bit of a talking to from his brother. Brother said that, hey, I did that because I wanted to. I didn't really do it for your sake. I stayed in this village because I just didn't want to go to the, I know, papacy or wherever he was being sent, right? And you are staying here against your will. You shouldn't be doing that. So Sign decides to join us and look for his friend who also went adventuring, promised that he will be back within a year, I believe, but hasn't been back for well over 3 now. Hopefully that friend will be found. If it turns out that the friend is dead, I fully expect Stein to join Frieren on her expedition to the heaven so that he can talk with his deceased friend. And yeah, that's where that episode ends. And now we are on the way to, I'm assuming, still the Magic City so that Frieren can get properly certified. She can have her forklift certification, and she can be permitted to operate a forklift in this, in the area of those northern realms among the demons. That's basically it. That's basically the summary, and that's basically my expectations. The previous episode wasn't all that eventful. It was funny. It had a lot of moments played up for laughs, and there were some good laughs, but ultimately not that much happened. So I guess we can just start watching this one and see what happens here, right? To do that, you will need your subs, of course. Why are you running? You will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 14 of Frieren in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, and Sign is very much reminiscent of Heiter. I gotta say, I really love the archetype of a character traveling everywhere with some luggage, with a briefcase or a suitcase or a coffin on their back or something like that. First of all, it makes those travels kind of more like realistic, right? You can't exactly fit everything you need just in your pockets and satchels on your belt, right? You will need at least a knapsack or something. Second of all, I don't know, it's just a good design. It's just a design that I really like. Because usually that luggage has something in it. Very rarely it's just clothes. Usually it either leads to into some pocket dimension, or it's full of weapons, or it's the body of a deceased loved one, or something like that. And also adds a little bit of a mystery to our main character, our protagonist, assuming it's not actually revealed what it is, what's inside. In this case, we know what's inside. Not entirely, we don't know the specifics, but we know in general what's inside. But yeah, protagonists, main characters, are very rarely all that mysterious to the viewer. We follow them after all, so we know everything about them. So having that mysterious luggage, it just adds a little bit of spice to the design. Privilege of the young. And we have the line from the after credits scene. Ah, shit. She's so furious she lost her nose. Fair. No smoking indoors. Ah, Fern. Honestly, my favorite character in this show. Legit. Are we getting some budding romance between Fern and Stark? If I'm to be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather we don't. I'd rather they keep this, whatchamacallit, sibling energy, right? And she's still pouting. But you didn't approach him. Yep. Besides, it's not the end of the day yet. Unless she had birthday yesterday, but no, she didn't. Yeah, maybe he also wanted to pick the gift with you. I really like Stein's presence in the party. He's the like life mentor, right? Like Frieren has no right to mentor anybody about life. She's a great mage, but she's autistic as fuck. So having someone like Stein to be the like common sense in the like interpersonal relationships and stuff, yeah, that's good. Yeah, but Fern just already jumped him. You shouldn't be. Yeah, before the shops close. What are you doing on the roof, Frieren? What are you doing on the roof, sign? Yes, very much so. Because she knows that Frieren is hopeless. And yeah, she compares you to Heiter. No, she compares you on the basis of alcoholism. How can you not like olives? I mean, yeah, Heiter wasn't into gambling at least. Ah, people mellow out with age. But you just don't have the energy or the health. Or sure, you're pretending. Fake it until you make it, as they say. Okay, so he changed for Fern's sake, at least partially. Right, we are again going into the goddess praises you for having a good life. With headpats. Good priests deserve headpats. Okay, that was a very sweet moment. Instinctively doing the same. Oh, the detail with the ash falling down. Oh, and she also gets a bracelet. Yeah. I mean, for Zion, it's about the looks, not about the age. A gift from Stark. Oh? Does it mean something in particular? uh, yeah. You should clean it up. Huh? Oh, okay. I mean, technically. Right. That's actually interesting. We know the spell to make yourself fly, but we don't know the principle behind flying, so we don't know how to apply it to other things. It probably wouldn't. Just make sure to roll cancel your fall. Yeah, just dive bombing headfirst. He was a dwarf. Yeah. Cancel the full damage, basically. Right, you can't stop too abruptly, because it's the stop that kills you, not the speed. Aerial combat? If you can call it combat, that is. Not like you have any other any other possibility. Well, it wasn't a gentle landing, but oh, that poor horse. I mean, you are alive, so I would call it a success. Can you field repair it? Okay, so you can repair it in the field. You have the time to look for Frieren's ring, then. Assuming she lost it. I assume that it flew out of the carriage because that would be a nice plot point. Yeah, she's probably gonna note. Oh? Yeah, it got lost. Oh, do you know the symbolism? But there are none. She has just a permanent poker face. You're supposed to. Oh, of course. Of course, it has to have some symbolism. I mean, yeah. It is a fair explanation, though. Nope. You don't replace gifts. Exactly. I mean, you're not gonna be starving, so that's good. It's the second time we are like stranded somewhere and staying here for like weeks or months, maybe even. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, looking for the ring, isn't she? It's just a ruby. Don't you have a locator spell or something like that? You probably don't know the meaning either. Okay, she didn't know. Uh, he probably did. Let's be honest here, he probably did. I mean, he had a favorite flower. He was at least a little bit interested in flowers. Oh, and there we go. Locator spell. AoE? Okay, so this is after the Demon King has been defeated. Yeah, he absolutely knows the meaning of this ring. Well, that's a very clear waypoint. Kneel and put it on her finger? Yep, exactly. That's probably as close as he was going to get with how dense Frieren is. Let's be honest. Then again, he never, at least as far as we know, he never actually professed his love, so. Wear it. Or make it into a pendant or something. It would be a shame to keep it in the suitcase, especially now that you know the meaning. And that's the episode. Okay. That's a good question, isn't it? Poor Stark. I'll never grow tired of their interactions. That's a lie. If they overdo it, I probably will grow tired of it. But so far, they're keeping it nicely balanced. And there goes my coffee. Yeah, I set the camera a little bit too high. That's better, slightly. Another nice slice of lifey episode. Exactly what I've come to expect of this show, honestly. Again, the aura arc got me thinking that this show is something it isn't, not entirely at least. But now we are back on the track of just going through the countryside, having some adventures on the way, reminiscing about the past, having some nice interpersonal interactions. It's cool. It's really cool. Smells like trouble, huh? Uh, I'm willing to bet the smell will be somewhat literal here. I know, a Zdoogle in the sewers or something like that. Maybe, probably. There we go. I wish I had an auto framing camera so that it could keep me in place, but alas, those are expensive. Regardless, let's watch this episode again. Of course, we should. I didn't say shall, it wasn't a question. Whatever. Going shopping. OP OP. And yeah, I guess Stark does have a breaking point. Eventually, he can take only so much abuse. I'm glad we actually can attach upon it, right? That he's not just an eternal punching bag for Fern. He also has his own feelings and sensibilities, and he can. If you push his buttons too hard, he will eventually just break and run off. I like that we actually show that. Mm-hmm. Would it kill her to listen to me once in a while? Yeah, especially since he probably wanted to take her shopping to buy her something, and she just heard, "I didn't give you a present," and started lambasting him immediately. And yeah, the birthday is today, so it's not like he forgot about it yesterday. Today is like, it's not the evening, is it? No, it's the middle of the day. There's still a lot of time in the day. He didn't get you a present now, but maybe he has a, I don't know, dinner in the evening planned for you, or, right? Something like that. At least wait until the evening before you start chastising him. You never listen to anything Stark says. I mean, fair. She really doesn't. This is great. Didn't even kick him once in frustration, just kept kicking. I really appreciate Zayn's presence in the team right now. And yeah, Fern wants to walk up to Stark, wants to say sorry, but at the same time doesn't want to admit her fault. Right? It's this sort of a feeling. I don't like how accustomed you seem to the company of women. But that's a thing to say. You couldn't talk to him. It's not that you don't like him. You just don't know how to interact with boys your age. Yeah, she never was around any kids in the first place, right? She was raised by an old priest. I don't think she had anybody to like play with or spend the time with, or, right? So of course she, first of all, doesn't know how to deal with people altogether. Second of all, even less so, she knows how to deal with people her age. And she's also probably a little bit more mature than other people her age, I would bet, right? She spent the time attending to a sickly priest and studying magic and whatnot, so that's gonna bump you up really, really well. Meanwhile, Stark has a little bit more of that childlike wonder still left in him, right? Still a little bit more of that childlike behavior, teenage behavior even. He's way less mature, definitely, and that's where the conflict, a little bit of the conflict at least, stems from. He's not that conscientious. I doubt he even remembers his own birthday. Yeah. No one declines when someone offers to buy them whatever they want. You must consider it an important memory. That's why you said no. And yeah, they're patching things up, thankfully. Both are saying sorry. Things are nicely mended. And we can make amends. Rooftop Frieren is watching him masturbate. That's the meme that immediately came into my mind. I know that it's ceiling cat, but she's not in the ceiling, she's on the rooftop. Frieren. It's 3 kids, yes. When it comes to interpersonal relationships, relationships altogether, topics of love, etc., very much 3 kids. Fern asked me for advice instead of you, because Fern knows that Frieren would have absolutely no clue about what's going on. And also, yeah, fair. She sees a little bit of Heiter in Zayn. Mostly through the virtue of alcoholism, but still. This is a very sweet moment. Very interesting how we yet again bring on the topic of getting praised after you die. Right? It really starts to look like this is actually a part of this religion's beliefs. That the goddess will praise you for a good life after you die. That's one of the tenets. Not even that you go to heaven. I don't think there is hell in this world even. There's just the afterlife. That's the vibe I'm getting at least. But whether you get praised by the goddess or scolded by her, that's the difference. I know, maybe. That is the vibe I'm getting though. Who will praise you? The goddess, yeah, that's what she is for. She is here to praise the good deeds. And yeah, you're not gonna have to wait that long. Frieren will gladly praise you for your good life so far. And even Zine. Few women are older than me, fair, but he's not necessarily looking for age. This is also really cool. Every time they take a carriage somewhere or some sort of a mode of transportation, that's always really, really cool. I like that they aren't just walking the whole way. Very often in shows that are some sort of a travel, right? Heroes set off to defeat the Demon Lord. Classic example. They just travel by foot. They very rarely take a carriage. Maybe there is some piece of plot, right? Oh, they saved someone in the forest. Turns out it was a carriage attacked by bandits. They take that carriage to the next city. Turns out the owner of the carriage is the owner of a trading guild in the city. They get a quest for... Right? You know what I mean. If you've read any isekai manga, any isekai light novel, you know exactly and precisely what I mean. So it's... the carriages and other modes of transportation are used pretty much exclusively to drive the plot. Very rarely they are actually used as a mode of transportation. Like, we use carriage to go from point A to point B, nothing exciting happens on the way. Very rarely. Now, this is not a good example because something exciting actually does happen on the way, but not to the point of driving the plot forward, right? They aren't saving any, I don't know, princes of a fallen kingdom or anything of the sort along the way. He's an accessory merchant, yeah, but he's not like giving them a discount or anything of the sort, or giving them another quest. At least not yet. I guess it can still happen in the next episode. We'll see. Cute design. I have a similar one. What else do you have? Red rocks, a bottle of something, more bottles of something, a wing, scepter, a wand, a lot of things. And just like that explosion, I fully expected this explosion to be caused by the ring, that this ring is maybe somehow enchanted, or maybe it draw the attention of a demon or something like that, or perhaps some other thing from her briefcase caused this explosion, something along those lines. But no. Also, this looks less like a lotus and more like a carrot, right? Like an upside down carrot. Those side carrots should really be angled, whatever. The way they are on Friren's bracelet, right? They are angled and they actually make a lotus flower. Oh no! The ring is gone. This is amazing. I really like the world building when it comes to magic they have in this show. Like how Zolfrak has been completely understood, and now any random magical pair of gloves will have Zolfrak protection. And we studied Zolfrak and we made Zolfrak our own. We modified it to slay demons, right? This is cool. This was a very cool detail. This is also a cool detail. It's a repurposed demon spell. We learned how to cast it. Some human maybe had a spell to copy another spell, so they copied the flying spell, and we learned how to cast it, we learned how to use it. But that's all we learned. We learned how to cast it. We know the magic words and the incantation, but we don't know how it works. We don't know what actually makes it fly. So we can copy the demon technique. Demons can fly, and we can do the same, but we cannot modify it to apply to other things. We cannot modify it to propel projectiles. We cannot modify it in any way because we don't know what makes it tick. This is cool. This is really cool. Frieren could take Stein. She's gonna take the carriage man, and Stark can just jump. And of course, Eisen was able to do that because Eisen is a dwarf. He really didn't have to like dive head first. He could have gone for a superhero landing, but he opted not to. And we again have the repeat of that. Just goes to show that Mr. Eisen was far from normal. This is the second time it happens already. Another kind of sort of running joke, I guess. Levitating the carriage right before it hits the ground. Success. Everybody's alive. I would really call it a success. And yeah, the ring is gone, of course. Bracelet was a gift from Stark. Fern is absolutely very hard to deal with. You cannot gauge out her reactions. You show her one bracelet, poker face. Show her another bracelet, poker face. Show her the third one, poker face. You pick the first one, she says she liked the third one more. Right? She's this kind of a character. You really can very rarely get a read on her unless she's pouting or smiling slightly. Those are her only two emotions other than poker face. People give them to their lovers. I had a feeling it's something like that. Ever since Frieren said that she got a similar ring from Heiter, not Heiter, Himmel. From Himmel, I had my suspicions that it has to be something like that. Either together forever, or eternal love, or just straight up a marriage token, right? And of course, it's the thing. And thankfully, Fern is very understanding because she knows that Stark had no clue what he's actually buying. You put a lot of effort into choosing this gift for me. Don't ever say that again. Yeah, you don't return gifts. You don't replace them unless the gift like really just, I know, you physically cannot wear it. You get a pair of earrings, but you don't have your ears pierced. But then I would probably still keep those earrings. Instead of giving them away or swapping them for a bracelet or something, I would still keep them because it's a gift. And maybe I'm gonna get my ears pierced eventually. I already got one, so that's kind of a moot point, but you know what I mean, right? Unless maybe you are allergic to gold and you got gold earrings, then maybe you can go with the person who gave you this gift, important, and exchange them for silver earrings or something like that. But you never just outright say, no, I don't like it, or I want to replace it, get me something else. No, you never do that. And in this episode, it's already the second time we see Frieren bent over a plank like this, very reminiscent of when she was chewed on by the mimic. Poor Fern. And yeah, Fern understands the meaning of this ring more than Frieren because she knows what it means. That's cool. So before we get to that moment, let me appreciate how this is the second time they are stranded and they stay somewhere for an extended period of time, and they have to live somewhere and deal with it somehow. The like slight survival aspect, I guess you could say. Again, in most series, characters camp for a day, maybe 2 days. Maybe someone is injured and they need to lay in bed and, I know, they need to brew a special potion to heal them or something like that. Then they find some abandoned shack and they stay there for a week or a month or something like that. But very, very rarely does it happen. In Frieren, it seems to be a fairly common occurrence that we go somewhere and we camp there for a week or a month or half a fucking year. This is cool. This is really, really, really cool. Many series that are also focused on the travels also focus on the exciting parts. I guess this goes to like Frieren as a whole. Right? Take any isekai or any fantasy story where the story is go kill the Demon King. We essentially just go from battle to battle to battle to battle with discovering some grand conspiracy created by the church every now and then. You very rarely see people just camp somewhere for a week because it's too cold to go through the mountains. No, they will find another way through the mines or underground, or they will walk around, or they will have to cross the mountains, right? We cannot stop for any prolonged periods of time. Frieren is much different. It really shows us all the aspects of the journey. It's not just the exciting moments of fighting monsters and fighting for your life and discovering that the king of the country you're passing through is actually a vampire or, you know, stuff like that. No, our carriage is broken. Well, we need to stay here in the forest for a week to fix it. We need to saw some lumber, we need to hunt, to feed ourselves. We're not looking for an out immediately. No, we can't stay here. We need to go. We need to follow the plot, follow the thread. Battle, 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 battle. Right? I really appreciate it. This lost accessory spell. On one hand, it seems a little easy, right? Oh, Frieren lost an accessory. Oh, haha, this person knows accessory locator spell. She can just learn it and retrieve her accessory. He just so happens to have this spell on him, right? How convenient. Well, the thing is, he is an accessory merchant. So it's reasonable to assume that he would have a spell like that. If anybody would have a spell like that, it would be him. So on one hand, it really feels kind of cheap. On the other, it does make sense though. So I guess it's a cool explanation for something that otherwise would have been grating. That's how I'm gonna say it. Locator spell. Interesting that Frieren just picked this ring herself. I really thought that Himmel actually picked it and actually meant to pick this ring because he knew the symbolism of it, but no, it's just Frieren picked it randomly and Himmel gave it to her in a very official way, extremely official way. And yet she just didn't grasp the meaning of it. Classic Frieren. Why are you wearing a mirrored lotus bracelet? Because Stark is an idiot. I mean, it is a decent explanation. And truthful. Yes, father, this is starting to look bad. He doesn't have his brother's talent. This smells like trouble. Doesn't have his brother's talent. I would assume Stark and Stolt. Stark doesn't have Stoltz's talent. I know, more backstory in Stark? Maybe. We'll see. Although we already got that, so I'm not sure how much more is there to his backstory. Okay. Alrighty. That was a nice episode. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that basically does it for the summary. It just was a nice episode. Nothing particularly important happened, nothing particularly groundbreaking, nothing particularly exciting. We got some really nice interpersonal moments. We got Sign's role being established a little more in the context of the party. We got Frieren to grow a little bit as a person, right? She now knows what the ring she got from Himmel actually means. So that's cool. That's cool. She will discover what Himmel felt for her yet. I have no doubt that she will. I guess Fern and Stark also had a chance to grow a little bit. Not all that much, mind you, but a little bit. Fern might take Stark's feelings into account a little bit more. Stark now knows how to deal with Fern a little bit better. It's cool. It's cool. As I said, not particularly exciting, not particularly groundbreaking, but again, only the Aura arc was just excitement of endless battles, quote unquote, but comparing to the rest of Frieren, it really was excitement of endless battles. But again, that's not what Frieren is as a show. It's not a battle shonen. It's not an adventure isekai shonen of fighting in every other episode, in every other chapter, right? This focuses on the bits of adventure that no other adventure show focuses on. I guess that would be a good explanation, good summary. All the other shows just skip over the mundane things like having to repair a carriage. All other shows just skip over the mundane things like, I don't know, having to buy a birthday present. Not this one. Not this one. This one shows us everything. Well, within reason, right? It doesn't just place a camera on sleeping Fern and Frieren. We don't need to see them sleep through the entire night, right? It's not necessary, but as far as things that have meaning, as far as events go, they really show us everything. They skimp on nothing. And I like it. I really, really do. It's cool. Cool episode, cool show, thumbs up. Really liked it. What did you guys think of this episode though? Tell me all about it in the comments below. What did you think of it, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Frieren but also Mage Record, Tate no Yusha, Shy, Helk, plenty of others coming in the future. Forgot to mention, no spoilers in the comments. Please, spoilers, go to my Discord here, also in the description. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube. On Patreon for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows. It's down below. And for just $1, you get a roll onto Discord notice in the credits. And on YouTube, you can also support me via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, we follow that out of the way. That's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Network, Survivor, Zarener, Akamaster, Dr. Watt, Marsh, Yukala, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to look for a ring.